Okay guys, so today we're testing out some groups with some different ammunition with this Ruger American rimfire. It's the compact version with the 18.5-inch barrel, and this is an AAC Advanced Armament Element 2 suppressor on the end. We're testing both accuracy as well as the ability to maintain subsonic velocities for sound reduction. We have Aguila Super Extra standard velocity. I believe this is now known as just their lead point standard velocity ammunition. We also have Aguila rifle match, and this is about 1080 feet per second advertised. I forgot the Super Extra is about 1130, right at the sound barrier advertised. Then we got some CCI standard velocity. This is 1070 feet per second. And then lastly, we're just shooting some Federal. It's similar pack to the auto match, and I wonder if it is the auto match, but it's their 40 grain lead round nose range pack, and I believe the advertised muzzle velocity for this is 1200 feet per second. So this is probably supersonic, and I can say from experience in shooting this in the past, depending on the weather, there's a louder sonic boom. Today it's not too bad. So here we go. We're just going to take 10 shots with the Aguila standard velocity. We're doing 5-shot groups, and then I'll spare you guys the shooting of all of these, and I'll show you some of the results. Alright, let's go take a look. I'll be honest, I'm not really happy with those, just 10 shots, but we'll see. It's kind of windy. Alright guys, so here are the results. We've got the Aguila standard velocity. We've got a 5-shot group there. It's about 2 inches spread, not the best. Here's another group. This one is probably about 3/4 of an inch. Much better in my opinion. And I tend to shoot worse groups my first group, and you'll see that as we go. Here's the Aguila match, probably about an inch and a half spread there. Here's the Aguila match again. There's about a 1-inch spread. Here's the best group of the day so far with some CCI standard velocity. That is all touching, probably about still 3/4 inch group though. Here's another CCI, about an inch group, pretty good. And then here's that high velocity auto match. My first group was awful. I didn't even want to say, probably about 3.5 inches. My second group was a lot tighter. We're looking at probably about an inch and a half there. So I did a couple other groups with the standard velocity because that's what I'm kind of testing more, just to see if it stays subsonic. It's a pretty good group, minus the flyer would have been an inch. That was me. And then here's my first group of those two, which again, my first groups are always worse at about an inch and a half, 2 inches. And we're shooting here at about
At about 50 yards is what it's advertised, although I think it's a little less, probably about 40.
Alright guys, so here's my closing thoughts with these 4 different types of ammunition. Again, today's goal was twofold. 1, it was to test the accuracy of these 4 different types of ammunition, and 2, it was to test the sound suppression to see which rounds maintain subsonic. Primarily, I wanted to see if the Aguila Super Extra lead point 40 grain standard velocity with an advertised muzzle velocity of 1130 feet per second stayed subsonic. We're in Pennsylvania, probably around 2,000 feet of altitude.
That was a terrible guess, more like 1,000 feet of altitude.
And it's about 60 degrees out today in February. It's really nice. So end result is this stuff did maintain subsonic velocities. There was no supersonic crack. So if you're trying to shoot suppressed, this stuff is a good alternative. If you can't find standard velocity with muzzle velocities in the 1000s, or if you don't want to pay for the subsonic ammo, which pulls a premium, even though it's pretty much the same as standard velocity. So as you figure, the rifle match from Aguila, 40 grain, stayed subsonic. It has an advertised muzzle velocity of about 1040, I believe. And then the CCI standard velocity, 1070 feet per second, definitely stayed subsonic. And then the range pack Federal 40 grain lead round nose, this one did not maintain subsonic. There was a sonic crack. Today it wasn't very loud. This is advertised at 1200 feet per second. I've shot this on colder days where the sonic crack is pretty noticeable. So this stuff, it works great in a pistol, but if you're trying to maintain subsonic and not get that sonic boom, not the best option. And it's cheap. That's the plus. It's not subsonic. It's not the most accurate. So as far as accuracy is concerned, the CCI standard velocity did win that battle. Smallest group, as you've seen already. The match grade Aguila second place, and then the standard velocity Aguila third, and then the cheap Federal fourth. I think if I practice with this, I can probably get some better groups. I think a lot of those groups are me. I haven't shot in a while, so. Now, here's the kicker. I'm on a budget, and so I usually have to try and buy the cheapest ammunition I can come across. This is the reason I was doing this test in the first place. Aguila Super Extra standard velocity, 40 grain lead point, whatever, same name. Advertised muzzle velocity 1130. I can get a case of 5,000 rounds shipped to my door for $211, which is, that's 10 boxes. If you buy it at Walmart or Dick's or a local store, that'd be $21.10 out the door per 500 rounds, which right now is a pretty good price, especially for something that's going to stay subsonic and be relatively accurate. So even though the CCI standard velocity beat it in the accuracy department, for me, this is probably a better value. Occasionally you can find the CCI standard velocity for about that price, but it's hard to find, and when it comes up at that price, it usually sells out very quickly, so you have to jump on it. And unfortunately, I missed a recent sale. The Aguila match was just for fun. This stuff's like $5 for 50, $5 to $10 for 50 rounds, depending on where you are. And I probably won't be spending the money for it, seeing that the standard velocity CCI is more accurate. So for my rifles with my suppressors, I'm going to try to stick with this Aguila standard velocity or the CCI standard velocity. And then in the future, I'll test out any other standard velocity rounds I can find for a good price to kind of share that with you. Your mileage may vary with this round as far as subsonic levels, because that depends on temperature, barometric pressure, altitude. There's a lot involved in that, whether you're going to get a sonic boom. And like I said, for me at around 2,000 feet altitude above sea level in 60-degree weather, and I've shot this in 50-degree weather, and it was still subsonic then. So for me, this is going to be my value ammunition, and it's actually pretty nice. If you ever shot Aguila, it's kind of weird. It has this sweet smell to it. It's a little bit dirty, but I don't mind. I clean my guns after every range visit, and I clean my suppressor after about 500 to 1,000 rounds, and it's no big deal. So Alright guys, so that's my interpretation of this ammo. CCI most accurate. If you're trying to suppress with relative accuracy and get a good value, I would say the Aguila Super Extra standard velocity 40 grain with an 1130 feet per second advertised is a pretty good value. So that's all we're going to be doing today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you around.